The story of football does not begin on a green pitch in England. It starts much, much earlier in different parts of the world. Ancient civilizations played games that involved kicking a ball. In China, around the 2nd and 3rd centuries BC, a game called Cuju was very popular. Players would kick a leather ball filled with feathers or hair into a small net. It was used for military training and also for fun. This game shows that the simple act of kicking a ball has been a source of enjoyment for a very long time, connecting people across centuries. Cuju had rules, and it was a test of skill and teamwork, just like the football we know and love today. Across the globe, other ancient cultures had their own versions of ball games. The ancient Greeks played a game called episkeiros, which was often violent and involved both hands and feet. The Romans later adapted this game, calling it harpastum. This game was more about carrying the ball across a line than kicking it into a net. It was a tough physical contest played by Roman soldiers to stay fit and strong. These games were very different from modern football, but they shared a common element: a ball, two teams, and a competitive spirit that brought communities together for a common purpose. In Mesoamerica, the Aztecs played a game called tlachtli with a solid rubber ball. This game was more than just a sport, it was a serious ritual. The courts were stone, and the game was often linked to religious ceremonies. Sometimes the outcome could even have life or death consequences for the players. While it was far from the football we watch on television, it demonstrates the deep cultural importance that ball games have held for thousands of years. The passion and the high stakes involved in tlachtli echo the intensity we see in modern football rivalries, showing a universal human connection to these contests. These early games laid a very long and winding path toward the sport we celebrate today. They were not football, but they were its ancestors, sharing a common DNA. They show that the desire to kick a ball and compete in teams is a fundamental part of human history. From the military fields of ancient China to the ritual courts of the Aztecs, the basic idea of a ball game has survived and evolved. It is a testament to the simple joy and competitive fire that these activities ignite in people, a spark that would eventually catch fire and become the global phenomenon of football. The version of football that the world plays today has its direct origins in 19th century Britain. For centuries, villages across England played chaotic mob football games. These games often took place on festival days with huge numbers of players. The goal was simply to get an inflated pig's bladder to a specific point, often the rival village's church. There were very few rules, and the games were rough, sometimes causing damage and injury. These folk games were wild and disorganized, but they kept the tradition of kicking a ball alive in the culture, setting the stage for the more structured game that was to come. The change from mob football to the modern game happened in the elite public schools of England. Places like Eton, Harrow and Rugby each developed their own set of rules. Some schools allowed players to carry the ball, while others insisted on kicking it only. This created a lot of confusion when teams from different schools wanted to play against each other. A common set of rules was needed to make fair competition possible. This need for standardization was the crucial first step toward creating a single, unified sport that everyone could understand and play together, no matter where they came from. The most important year in football's history is 1863. In that year, several clubs and schools met at the Freemasons' Tavern in London. They formed the Football Association, the world's first governing body for the sport. Their main goal was to create a single, official set of rules. The biggest debate was about hacking, kicking an opponent in the shin, and carrying the ball. The clubs that wanted to carry the ball eventually left and formed the Rugby Football Union. The FA's new rules, which banned hacking and handling the ball, became the foundation of modern association football, or soccer. With a clear set of rules, the game exploded in popularity across Britain. The FA Cup, established in 1871, became the first major football competition. It allowed clubs from all over the country to compete against each other, creating heroes and local rivalries. Working-class men in the industrial cities of the north of England embraced the sport with incredible passion. They formed clubs that would become giants of the game, like Manchester United and Liverpool. Football was no longer just a schoolboy pastime. It was becoming the people's game, a source of pride and identity for entire communities. As the British Empire expanded, so did the game of football. British sailors, soldiers, merchants and engineers took the sport with them to all corners of the globe. They would organize games in ports and cities, from Buenos Aires in Argentina to Calcutta in India. Locals who watched these games were fascinated. They soon started forming their own clubs and learning the rules. This informal spread was the first wave of football's global journey. The sport was easy to understand and required little equipment, just a ball and some space, making it accessible to people everywhere, regardless of their social or economic status. In South America, football found a particularly passionate home. British railway workers introduced the game to Argentina and Brazil in the late 19th century. It was quickly adopted by the local populations, who added their own unique flair and style. They developed a game based on dribbling, skill and creativity, which was different from the more physical British style. Countries like Uruguay, Argentina and Brazil became football powerhouses. Uruguay's victory at the first ever FIFA World Cup in 1930 was a clear sign that the game's centre of gravity was shifting away from its British birthplace. Across Europe, football also grew rapidly. The game spread through trade links and student exchanges. In countries like Italy, Germany and Spain, football clubs were established and quickly became central to urban culture. These clubs gave people a new way to express their local and national identity. International matches began to take place, fostering both friendship and rivalry between nations. The creation of FIFA, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, in 1904 provided a global governing body to organize international competitions and standardize the rules worldwide, further cementing the game's international structure. The game's global appeal was cemented by the FIFA World Cup. First held in 1930, this tournament brought nations together to compete for the title of world champion. It became a massive global event watched by billions of people. The World Cup turned players into global superstars and created some of the most memorable moments in sporting history. Famous teams like Brazil, with players like Pelé and Real Madrid, a dominant force in European club football, became household names around the world. Football was no longer just a British export, it was a shared global language. Today, on August 16th, 2025, football is without a doubt the most popular sport on the planet. It is played and followed by billions of people in over 200 countries. From the professional leagues in Europe to dusty pitches in Africa, the game unites people. Famous clubs like Barcelona, Manchester United and Bayern Munich have supporters all over the world. These clubs are more than just sports teams. They are global brands that connect people from different cultures. The sport's top competitions like the UEFA Champions League and the FIFA World Cup capture the world's attention like nothing else. The players are at the heart of this global fascination. Icons like Pelé and Diego Maradona became legends in the 20th century. In the modern era, players such as Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have taken that fame to another level. Their incredible skill, dedication and dramatic rivalries have inspired millions of young fans to play the game. These players are not just athletes. They are global celebrities whose stories of rising from humble beginnings to worldwide glory resonate with people everywhere. They embody the dream that with talent and hard work anything is possible, making the sport profoundly inspiring. One of the biggest reasons for football's appeal is its simplicity. The basic rules are easy to understand and the game can be played almost anywhere with anything that can be kicked. This accessibility means that children from all backgrounds can fall in love with the game. It fosters teamwork, discipline and fair play. At the same time, football is a game of incredible complexity and beauty. A perfectly weighted pass, a brilliant solo run or a stunning long-range goal are moments of pure art. This combination of simplicity and sophistication makes it endlessly fascinating to watch and to play. Ultimately, football is loved because it is a source of intense emotion. It represents passion, identity and belonging. When your team scores a winning goal, the joy is shared with thousands in the stadium and millions watching at home. When your team loses, the disappointment is also a shared experience. This powerful emotional connection brings communities together, giving them a common cause to celebrate or mourn. Football is more than just a game. It is a weekly drama, a cultural touchstone and a universal language that speaks to the heart of what it means to be part of a team.